Okay, massive apologies, everyone. Just as I was switching over and getting everything ready, the streaming service decided to crash on me, so we're back again. So if you're watching on YouTube, this will all be just one big seamless thing, hopefully. If you're watching on Twitch, I'm really sorry about the technical difficulties we're facing still, although this is our third official session, so, well, third official session.
Third?
Session 3, including prologue.
2.5. We'll call it 2.5.
2.5. So,
I can't count.
So, where we left off, we had just discovered that Jonathan is a bit more, shall we say,
Politically
would it
savvy?
be? Yeah, a bit more,
occultly aware.
Bit of a big reader of
a bit stronger than perhaps he had first projected.
He has grandmother issues, unfortunately.
And he just finished asking, although, as we know from the role, he's not sure or certain that Sarah is indeed Golden Heron, but he highly suspects it. And she has neither confirmed nor denied his claims, not really. And so he has said, quite dramatically, I want you to excise the ghost of my grandmother from this kingdom.
And what makes you think she's the cause of your problems?
A hungry ghost should be dealt with. It shouldn't be left alone.
Is it a hungry ghost, or is it an actual, or is it just a ghost? There is a distinction.
I'm not sure. But every night, the painting cries. And it spreads a...
You see it?
Yes, of course I see it. Every night the painting cries, rivers of tears. And it falls into the fireplace. And it spreads like a thick veiled mist throughout this city, sending everyone into a deep slumber from which they cannot awake until the next morning when it disperses.
Let's stop playing.
Tarala steps forward and since he still has that pamphlet, right? And I mean,
well, he gave it to Heron, but yeah.
Okay.
Well,
But you
Sarah.
can find them everywhere. Tarala gestures to offer the pamphlet over to her for a moment. Sarah?
I hand it over.
Well, it seems a lot of the source is coming from this painting. What if, and she snaps her fingers, and he wasn't there anymore. As she spends a mote, and poof, there goes the
Would you believe I've tried that already?
Yes.
Then by all
Well, not the
means.
same way that I would have, but yes.
When did it stop
I am gonna. You know what? Now that we have, their doors are closed behind us. Yes.
Yes, there's no one in this room
this
other
is
than
the-
you and the prince.
And possibly a ghost.
Well,
DeNovo's not seeing
time
anything.
to act. I'm gonna activate spirit detecting glare anyway.
Okay.
And then I shall investigate the portrait. I will ask trying to memorize everybody's names here. Kalis to assist me in getting up there. So if I could stand on or sit on his shoulders, that would be much appreciated. Also, if you could pick me up and put me up there, because I don't really want to climb. That looks scary. But oh, sorry, I shouldn't be looking above the camera. Anyways, I don't. Yeah, it looks scary to climb up that. So if you could just kind of put me up there, that'd be great. And then I will you still don't want me to touch the painting, yes, Your Highness?
My attempts at destroying it in the past have proved futile.
What precisely have you tried?
Smashing it, slashing it, burning it.
Have you
Well,
tried
I
exercising
wasn't
it?
going to try to I wasn't going to try destroying it right now. I was just going to I was just asking if I had permission to touch it or not.
Yeah, sure. And no, I have not tried excising it because I don't have anyone present with that kind of skill. Until you arrived, of course.
And I'm going to I'm gonna hop up on Kaelus's shoulders and take a good look at the painting. I'm gonna try to peel it off from the wall a little bit and check behind. Does it let me?
Oh, the painting can be moved. It is quite heavy. What's your strength?
That's a great question. Not great. I believe it's a 1.
Okay, let's get ready.
If your strength is 1, you
I
won't be able to
have-
physically move it off the wall.
I also have 0 athletics to back that up.
You will not
what-
be able
what
to
about
move it
just,
off
like-
the wall, but you can sort of like tip it or tilt it or something, because it's hanging on a hook. So you can sort of...
Yeah.
Do you want me to?
Yeah,
Kaelus, like,
Kaelus, if you
do you
could
want
carefully
to
just
lift
kind of
it?
pull it forward, I just want to take a look behind it a little bit as well.
Okay, let's lift the picture.
And Kaelis sort of lifts the picture up. It would be heavy for any other person. He's able to lift it down such that you can get a good look at it. And whilst you're investigating that, Arthur Shuster, your neck tingles.
Mhm. Ooh.
Am I hearing bells by any chance?
No,
You did hear it beeping.
no bells.
I heard a beep.
What
No,
in
not-
particular is
You would benefit from a case scene action because this painting was hiding something that has been hidden again. And with the painting now removed, it becomes more obvious what you can... like you now know what to look for, essentially, so you would have a much better chance of finding this thing now that the painting's been removed. You can get a really actual good look at the room. So this would
I'm
be
going to
case
spend
scene.
4 motes on an excellency and spend a point of willpower.
Heron, what's the nature of your investigation of the painting? What are you trying to look for?
Just anything in particular that might stand out from it. I was going to be throwing a wits investigation, yeah?
Yeah.
Roll at it, and I was also going to throw an int occult roll at it. And I was also going to ask if anybody had any vials to get a sample of the tears.
We have a sample of the tears. It's a cup of tears.
Cup. Yeah.
That currently has like red food dye or something in it? Hand?
Yep.
Well, wait, is the porter still crying?
Yep.
All right, just get another cup.
9 successes.
Okay. The wallpaper behind the portrait matches the wallpaper for the rest of the room exactly. But your keen eyes and intellect are able to pick up the slightest details where it would be ordinary to find a patch of wall behind a painting less faded than the wall around it. But this is this wallpaper is far too fresh. It's as if it hasn't aged a single moment since it was first put up, as opposed to the rest of the wallpaper around, which have seen at least a decade or two.
Kaelis, my friend, would you mind giving me a boost?
Kaelis, can I hold this painting one-handed? Is that...
Yes, you can. I know your stats. You can.
Okay. I'll give Aftershatter a boost then, I guess.
Just lift him up onto the mantelpiece.
He's gonna start going over the wall, feeling the texture. I mean, if it's putting out this much water, it should be really damp back here, so it should be like actually kind of mildewy. I'm gonna see, like try and define the edges of where like entropy seems to exist and does not exist, and like tap behind it to see if it gives off a different sound than the rest of it, and then try to. I have really long fingernails. I'm going to try and dig in and like take off a sliver of the paper for testing.
Okay, I'll give you a 1 point stunt for your investigation action, unless you've already done that. Did you already do that?
Yes, I got 9 successes.
Okay, then we don't worry about that. Sarah. There is absolutely nothing about this painting that you can see that is out of the ordinary, other than the fact that it is crying. It's
still crying away from the wall.
Yeah, it's still crying away from the wall. As you sort of peel back the frame and sort of just open it slightly, you are able to get to the edges of the painting's canvas, and there is where the signature is. It's signed a D.L. Marcus.
What time to pull off my man, I just blew a lot of motes on freaking occult rolls as well, but that's okay.
People are telling me when they're spending personal motes, right? Peripheral motes, right?
I spent 4 peripheral motes on my
Same.
On my investigation roll. On my next roll, I spent 10 personal because I was nutters for my indigo.
I do apologize. I need to duck away from the camera again just for a few moments. I really apologize. If you guys can just talk to the audience, talk amongst yourselves, maybe do some theorizing until I get back.
Well, I was going to pull up actual linguistic. Oh, well, everyone wanted to talk here. Okay. Someone else go first.
I was going to say, how many people are currently...
Here's your filler, dog.
Hey, audience. How's it going? You're looking great tonight. Looks good on you.
So, anyone else want to stab the portrait?
I just want to know how many people are climbing over me.
Here's my brilliant stopgap solution until we resolve the ultimate issue. Could we just not light that fire? Like, if it turns into a horrible gas that like knocks out the city, maybe remove the catalyst.
Yeah.
That assumes that they can.
That's the next thing that I'd like to ask. Like,
I was gonna say, can we even get the painting out of the room?
More I have a question of, at nighttime this gas affects the castle and everyone is asleep. It's like, and you're not? Why is it not affecting Jonathan? Who appears to have a lot more guile than we originally assumed.
I'm telling you to use ghost eating technique on that portrait.
I'm not using ghost eating technique on the portrait.
I mean, it is...
Yes.
Wait. I did not know you had ghost eating technique. That's cool.
It is...
I do have occult 5.
Mm.
It is rather large and papery. I mean, Kalis could find a use for it.
I think we need Arthur Shuster.
I guess I stole some of your sorry if I stole some of your occult thunder, Avis. I just I took 2 5s, I believe, in my double check that. Yeah, only 2 5s, and one was linguistics and the other was occult.
I have 1 5 and a bunch of 3s.
No worries.
I have a few 4s.
I had an idea on how I might be able to get my cast bonus by convincing people to adopt my principle I hold, which are all weird philosophical ideals.
Wait a minute. Have we considered trying to social a painting?
Yes. No.
No. Yeah, we've been reading it, but we haven't tried actually socialing the painting.
I have.
But the painting's not a spirit, so I think it's just a
It reacted to it reacted to the song, so we know it can react to outside stuff, so why not have a dialogue with the painting? You can instill the painting with your beliefs.
I mean,
It was staticking again.
one of the things I'm surprised that for Shasta.
Shasta. Arthur Shasta.
Guys, quick, he's back.
Chronically challenged.
Apologies, everyone. I'm still a little bit ill from this morning, so just needed to take care of that, and I'm back now.
Oh dear.
So who's stabbing the painting?
I am not stabbing the painting. I don't even have a knife.
So,
I gave up my
I can make you a knife.
No. That's okay. Also, this is out of character, so let's get back to in character.
Yeah, this is a character. Never goes back. This isn't a conversation that would make very much sense.
so
I mean, I gave a rather... Anyway, sorry. Keep going.
Heron, we left off as you peel back the frame, you're able to find the initials of the artist signed sort of on the edge of the canvas, sort of concealed by the frame, and it was J.C. Marcus.
J.C. Marcus. Hey, I know a guy named Marcus.
You know, a couple people called Marcus.
We do,
Arthur
don't we?
Shasta, you said you had like long nails and you were going to sort of slide it down behind the... Okay. What is your strength score?
My strength is 2.
Okay. What is your athletics?
Non-existent.
I'd also like to note I got 13 successes on my into-cult roll to investigate the painting for anything occult. In particular, I'd be looking at the edges, the tears, obviously, and I don't know, I guess just anything that might just like stand out to me in general on the painting. That seems occult in knowledge, and if I have anything in my vast arsenal of knowledge. And
Okay.
again, 13 successes. So.
As far as the painting is concerned, there is absolutely nothing magical, mystical, or spiritual about it whatsoever. Which can only mean that whatever is causing this effect is merely channeling it through the picture, not actually using the picture itself as its source. Whatever is causing these tears is not here. It is somewhere else. Arthur Shasta, you're able to stick your fingernail underneath the sort of the lip of the wallpaper, but it's glued on quite solidly, and if you were to attempt to remove it, you know that you would, rip large sheaths off, and it would be this big, horrible mess. You'd need to find some way of removing the wallpaper without sort of damaging the wall and what's behind it and all those sorts of things, because it's glued on quite solidly. De novo.
I have only strength 2, but I have athletics 5, which because this doesn't sound like an exercise in brute force so much as it sounds like an exercise in how dexterously you can use your force. And there's very few things harder than a die, well, sharper than a die clay, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So, does the painting look like, does the wall look like I could cut through it easily enough?
Does it look like you could cut through the wall?
Okay,
You don't really have a way of knowing because it's covered in wallpaper. But Arthur Shasta could tell you that there's no sort of difference in the sound. This is a solid stone/brick wall. There's no hidden passage behind it. There's nothing. Whatever is here is fresco on the wall behind this wallpaper.
All right, then I'm going to climb up Well, actually, I'm just gonna leap up. Like I have a pretty high athletics,
Okay.
so I don't really think I even can bother with that.
Jonathan watches with interest.
And I'm going to try to use. I'm going to drop Aurora, which, despite looking like a rusty sword made out of black stone, is actually incredibly sharp and strong. And I'm going to try to cut away the wallpaper. Wait, actually,
Too late.
no. Would you say that this is? Would you say this is a brute force? I'm gonna experimentally prod at the wall. Does it seem like a brute force job, or more like a matter of precision rather than strength?
What are you trying to do?
I'm thinking of whether I need to make special tools for this.
The issue is that the wallpaper is like glued inch by inch onto the stone wall or whatever it is behind it. So while you could like brute force rip it off, you would need to do so very quickly and very efficiently, not to sort of break up the wallpaper itself, leaving like large ripped trails through it. If you were to take it slow, it would be more of a dexterity type feat, and it would take some time.
My
Alright.
friend, do you wish something off the wall? You be like scrambling around it. What is the problem?
Well, I would like some samples to do some tests on. I mean, Jonathan, how long has this wallpaper been up? When was the last time your family remodeled this room?
Since before my time.
Yeah, that's not right.
Okay, I'm going to very quick. Is there any what's in the room that's metal aside from the ceremonial weapons?
My friends, do you want me to get you a paper of a sample of the paper?
Okay, out of character real quick. Just let me do this.
I think he's trying to get some craft points.
Okay. I was.
Yes, you can win a bullet off. Please let me get some craft points.
You are sounding
In Kalus's mind, he's seeing like 3 or 4 people clambering over him, trying to get some paper off a wall, and he's like,
Okay, whatever. Just pull it off. Out of character, pull it off. Just pull it off.
No, it's fine.
To answer your question, Avis, there are a number of metallic objects in the room. There are the pokers for the fire space, all those sorts of things. There's the fireplace grill itself, to stop people from falling into the fire. There probably wouldn't be cutlery and stuff around, but that's the best you've got, other than sort of doorknobs and handles and screws and things.
Does it have those really cool metal like frameworks around the glasses? You get those like really cool decanter holders and stuff.
Actually, what's the painting's frame made out of?
Let's make it gold-plated wood.
All right. I'm going to more or less empty out my personal pool. Well, I'm gonna still have, I think, 1 essence in there, but that's not 1 mote, but that's not really much. And activate Craftsman needs no tools.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, actually, I'm just gonna use my protocol because Craftsman needs no tools is, for the weirdest reason possible, a muted charm.
Yeah, it's mute. It's mute.
But it's weird because it is so blatantly supernatural, but
Not necessarily.
I'm going to grab onto the frame and snap it into pieces. Essence basically coursing through my fingers to let me basically split it. And then as my hands pass over the gold, it almost seems to heat up as if like it's being put through a forge fire. Then I'm going to basically strip out the gold and and then basically form it together into have you guys ever seen those really long, fine what's the word? Kind of like blade things that you can use to like peel wallpaper?
Yeah.
I'm basically gonna make it into that, although it could probably serve as a I forgot what's the name they give for single-edged swords in Exalted. Anyway, it could functionally serve as a sword, but it's mostly just being used to make a solid gold wallpaper cutter.
Okay, cool. So because this is metalwork, this would technically be a major project. Do you have the silver points for it?
Yes, I believe I do. You gave me silver points from the background quest. I just don't have them on me. I never actually bothered to write it down. I don't suppose you did.
Oh my.
I can see him handing you over an IOU.
We'll say for the moment that you have at least 10 silver experience, and I'll work out the rest later.
Okay.
The difficulty of this project is 2.
Okay. I'm also going to use the 7 essence are left in my personal pool to bring me up to. What attribute would you say I'd be using for this?
Sorry?
What attribute do you suggest I use for this craft? Would you say I have to use it for this craft roll?
Dexterity, craft, swords, weapon making,
okay.
I think it is.
Yeah, no, the attribute. So dexterity then.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 8 plus 7 is 15. Hold on.
This is taking just a touch longer than I wanted it to.
Sorry, real quick. Wait, actually, I'm just going to use my, instead of spending my mote, I'm just going to use Triumph Forging Eye, which gives me a free full excellency once a week.
Okay.
That got me 7 successes.
Man, you succeeded.
Since I actually have a 7 success, and I'm doing this in, hold on a sec. Since I actually have an intimacy regarding mysteries.
What we might do is work out the points you get for this later, because we're...
because since it's in service of that, I actually awaken one of Arit's evocations.
Okay, cool. We'll look at that later, unless it becomes relevant. So we'll just
actually
mark
is
down that
relevant
has happened. Okay, go. Go. Quick.
Okay. So essentially, it lets me reroll ability or asset, or basically lets me reroll 1 failed dice.
Okay.
So 1 sec.
Do you need to? Because you succeeded.
All right.
Okay, cool.
And I'm basically going to use that to peel off the. I'm going to come back up and peel off the wallpaper.
Okay, cool. So through a combination of craft and effort, you're able to sort of heat up the blade in the fires, in the fireplace, while sort of reaching up and sort of just almost sort of like spatulaing the wallpaper free. The combination of the heated blade plus its sort of soft texture allows you to sort of peel away all of the wallpaper and glue without damaging what was underneath, which is good because what was underneath is actually a fresco, which is like a plaster on a wall with ink basically tattooed into it is the best way to describe a fresco. And this fresco is of basically an enormous tree. It's not quite tree of life looking tree, but it has its branches sort of hang off into these probably what we would recognize as cartouches, just holding people's names. It's essentially a family tree, and it goes back several generations. You can see that it stops with the name. One moment. Should have had this open earlier, I'm sorry. It stops with the name Selena Tydeus. That's the lowest hanging branch, should I say? And directly above Selena Tydeus is Pandea Tydeus, which would be Jonathan's grandmother. There is one of these name plates, this cartouche thing, hanging off next to Selena, that has been sort of burnt away and sort of removed.
How big is that branch that's been removed?
A single person.
I'm gonna look over towards Jonathan, and although this seems like a simple question, as someone from Volibat, I'm actually judging him on how well he can answer his questions of hereditary. And I'll point to that and say, if that is the line that produced your grandmother and you, where are these other branches from your family tree?
Jonathan, who is much more adept at his family history than I am, is able to explain how large swaths of his family tree perished in the battle with the realm some 30-odd years ago, leaving his mother as the sole heir. He states that he has no idea who this other person next to her would be. It should be his uncle, but as far as he's aware, he does not have an uncle.
Are there portraits of any of these people within the castle still?
He gazes up at it clearly very interested in this. He's never seen this before. It says, yes, almost everyone is... almost everyone in our family line has a portrait in the castle somewhere, and they're all entombed in the family crypt.
To the family crypt?
Yes, the royal crypt's out back. Well, not really out back. You would get there through the Shrine of Formica.
Guys, we need to go to a rating. No one? Really?
In my experience, that tends to upset more ghosts than not.
Aww.
So what have we found? Jonathan asks. What does this mean? How is this going to help rid us of my grandmother?
It might actually not be our grandmother. It might actually be the burned out name.
What do you mean? How?
Generally, few things make a ghost. Few things anger a ghost as much as the prospect of being forgotten.
And the fact that obviously all these other people on your family tree as your ancestors are no longer among the living, but only that one has been burned out. So that would imply that there's some sort of hostility between them and other members of your family. And I could see someone growing rather angry at seeing their father on the throne, someone who's not even of this bloodline, ruling in their stead if they thought that position should be theirs.
This smoke that manifests when the tears burn. Could you describe it?
It's like a cloud billows forth from the fireplace and engulfs the castle.
No, but its texture. Does different things burn differently? Does it seem like, for lack of a better word, the burning of paint being burnt away?
He honestly considers it and then shakes his head. No, I wouldn't say it had that quality at all. It's just like mist, like a low-hanging cloud. It did not have taste or scent as far as I know.
It would not be a poor idea to ask your relatives about this.
You mean my father?
What time does it start?
It doesn't always happen at the same time. Usually after everyone has gone to bed. The only reason I know about it is because I was up late studying one night when I saw it happen, and it engulfed me, and I did not wake until the next morning.
I was actually meaning to ask your maternal relatives.
My what, sorry?
Your maternal relatives.
They're all
I
dead.
don't think he has any. I think it's...
Yes.
So you think they are all hanging around somewhere? They haven't all passed on?
It would not be the strangest thing. You'd be surprised not how many souls stick around, so to speak.
Well,
They
then,
don't always pass on later.
by all means, conduct your investigation. You can hear a gong go bong, bong. I am late getting ready.
One last question before you go. Are the partygoers in danger? How late will the gala go on tonight?
Until everyone is tired and retires. As far as I know, it doesn't hurt anyone. It just ensures the whole city is asleep. I really don't know more than that. I've tried watching it from afar, but it's hard to get out from underneath my father's gazing eyes undetected.
Well, it's quite fortunate no one's been on a staircase when they fell unconscious.
I don't know. There hasn't been any issues.
Well, we should let you get ready.
I wish you luck in this endeavor.
Wait.
And
One moment, Your Highness.
yes,
We need something from you.
what?
And there is an especially useful reagent when it comes to dealing with ghosts.
Arthur Strasser looks you dead in the eye and in Old Rome says, "If you ask this boy for his blood, I am muzzling you and dragging you out of here."
And I'll respond in Old Realm. Given that it would look very strange for the handler for the accident to be pulling his handler, I would not suggest that course of action. And you know as well as I do that it is in fact the most effective reagent.
Yeah, but there's a time and place. Like, when diplomats and nobility are showing up, let's not try and summon the evil spirit. Let the high-valued
I am not
individuals
suggesting we do it at present. We will need the reagent, and night is the best time to do this. You are aware of this.
Yes, we also should not bloodlet the boy right before he has to make a major appearance.
I'm not suggesting we require 5 gallons of his blood for the purpose of this ritual. We just need a drop.
Jonathan walks up to De Novo and holds out his hand.
Wait, out of character real quick. Afro, you have, what's your medical again? Medicine?
3.
Okay. I believe it'll be better if you have Afro do it. He's much more gifted in medical arts than I am.
Fine. And he holds his hand out to Arthashasta instead.
I like to state that I'm doing this against my wishes, but God, what would be a suitable thing to retain it in? He begins fussing around for things in there, and then just settles on a cup. And he's actually takes his head and holds it aside and holds his ear back and says, "This will cause a minimal amount of damage and bleed enough and quickly and clot well. And as long as no one is looking behind your ear at the banquet, no one will notice the wound." And I'm gonna slice him just a little bit right behind his ear.
He squeals.
All head wounds. God damn it, the respect I just gained for him about knowing out his family tree is lost at that.
He's not accustomed to
How can you
pain.
have children without spilling blood? How can you have children without spilling blood? What weird people these are.
So your blood, he squeals because you're not used to pain, and so you're able to get the blood that you need. And he sort of just, I don't know, you dab at it with a cloth of some kind, and it sort of clots quite quickly, and it's hard to see or notice or anything like that. It doesn't stain his hair, luckily. You're able to hold that back. That would have been obvious. And as he's holding the cloth to the side of his head, he backs away. Is that all?
I hope so.
Then I wish you well in your endeavor. And he turns and sort of strides out.
You have weird rituals, you folk.
It'll be a useful medium.
Do you like to come down now, Heron? Sarah.
This is gonna be a massive problem. All right. Sorry, that was super out of character. Yes. Yeah. Heron says super nervously. If my voice didn't give that impression.
New scene for any actions that matter. Actions or effects that matter.
What am I supposed to do with this? Kayla's picture is
Bring
still
that with us.
No, we are going. There's some level of decorum we have to at least make the illusion of maintaining.
Oh, no.
So I look at you and I say, no more asking for bodily fluids or arcane reagents, no more hauling around of tapestries and paintings. And then he points at Kalis, and people will bring food to you. Do not pick the tables that the food is on. Do not pick up the people holding the food.
I was suggesting hand smuggle it out, actually. Is that in your power hand? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, are you starting to speak a language I understand now? I'm not quite sure.
To be fair, he started.
That's...
But is that in your power?
You some
Oh,
I'm
you're
sorry,
back. You're back.
What's that? No apology? No? Just
I'm sorry.
talk.
I
have
know
no
so many
idea what's
languages
happening.
that I don't even notice when I'm speaking in one that others. I'm just so fluent. My apologies. I don't even remember my first language most of the time.
Really?
Why is it-
I should...
Why is everybody so excited about the wall?
Well, they're
Sorry about that.
a family tree that has been burned away. We suspect that possibly the angry ghost isn't his grandmother, but in fact said family member that was burned away. And we were going to go investigate the crypts because that always makes the dead happy. Yeah. So yeah,
Depends on the dead.
that's about as good as we got. We're going to be respectful. We're not raiding. And yes.
They're holding the ball in the crypt.
No.
Kalis
So
raises
someone
a
should
very
actually
good
stay
point.
here at the ball.
We've got a lot of
Kalis
nooses going
raises a
on.
fantastic point.
I was gonna ask, are we gonna handle this like Scooby-Doo? Are we gonna split up, gang?
And Sir Trick Loose.
Well, I mean, it would make sense for some of us, the more socially inclined, to be at the ball. Plus, in the event of something going wrong there, only one of us can actually flare without causing, mass panic.
It would be a useful tool. It would be a useful tool.
Technically, two of us now.
Technically, two.
Actually, no, you can't go where you can't walk around without me, so that would be a problem.
Do we have an eclipse? Excellent. Okay, good.
The problem is good luck getting hand to miss the ball. Where he can be caught on the walk.
You should definitely come with us to the crypts, and your presence will be very useful.
Wait, do you know Eclipse animal powers?
I should technically make a roll on that. Yeah, I'll make a roll.
Actually, I'll allow
Can I
that
make
one.
a roll on that?
I'll allow that one.
You allow that one?
Let's speed this
Neat.
up.
I was allowed. Cool.
What? I'm stuck regarding speeding it up. Can I just play in character, or do you want to speed this up?
Playing character.
Okay. What are you talking about? I have no idea about anything to do with spirits, as the previous
That's all well and
experience
good,
just-
Hand, but I guess you're not exactly aware of what you are entirely yet. Well, that's quite all right. I don't think I fully understand myself either. Regardless, your presence will keep us safe from the spirits. I know you might prefer to be in the ball. However, you could potentially keep us safe from harm.
Sagacious Hand's eyes slip to Arthur Shuster with the confusing look of, what are they talking about?
I am not entirely sure.
I am not aware either.
Don't look at me.
We're gonna go to the crypts. You as...
We don't really need guards. Ghosts aren't innately aggressive.
That's all fine. That's all fine and dandy. It's still for good measure, especially if we might be dealing with an angry or a hungry ghost. I'd rather not be caught off guard.
But how?
This way, we are safe from any and all trickery. And in case we are dealing with something more than a ghost, your presence will simply still protect us from spirits, as long as we are there
My
unaggressive.
presence.
Yes, your
What?
presence.
What?
Kayla's coughs quite loudly, and looks at you all. It's like, perhaps we should not talk about personal things in such a place with lots of people around that come and go.
Aren't we
I
in a
second
private?
that vote. Let us have. Yeah, we
We're
are
in a private room.
We are.
You are currently in a
Okay.
room with no one else in it. Yes.
That we know of.
You know of.
Awareness roll.
Well,
Paranoia begin.
Paranoia rolls!
as far as I'm concerned, the degradation of this territory has been going on for almost a decade. I think they can spare us for an evening. I personally would like to acquire as much information before we do anything that can set something into motion. I think we should attend the gala tonight. That is technically why we are here. I think we should attend the ritual in the morning. According to Gamakana Senin, it will be illuminating to say the least. I don't think 12 hours will doom the region.
I'm suggesting that we split up. Some of us should stay in the ball tonight. Some of us should investigate the crypts.
I'm in favor of I'm in favor of, at the very least, Hand and Tarala attending the ball. They are the most socially gifted amongst us, to put it in plain terms.
By the way,
Very
thank
well.
you for
I can defend
noticing.
myself.
And how are we going to stop the cloud?
You likely can't.
It depends. Have you figured out how to hug clouds yet? I recommend hugging a lot of clouds.
You can, Clouds are like smoke, yes? But
Yes.
higher?
Yes.
Do you not, hunt for honey in your tribe?
Cloud honey, perhaps. So swords can just ask for weird things. Don't judge me.
So, what's the plan?
Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, I think we're splitting up the party.
I was actually going to say, I would suggest, we want to keep an eye on, we want to figure out who the movers and shakers are that are attempting to do the buying here, because for all we know, we don't know if somewhere down somewhere down the line, I mean, this is like a classic story. Somewhere down the line, somebody got exiled, no longer part of the family, trying to get their kingdom back, make this plan, and get it back really easily when there's no faith left in the current royal family. For all we know, it could be one of the people that's trying to buy that's causing this.
In any case, we need more information, which is why I think we should split up.
I think splitting up is foolish.
I don't think I'd be very much use in the ball overall, to be honest. I believe my service better put in investigating the crypts. If anyone wishes to come with me, they may. My apologies, guys.
Well, at the very least, Sarah, before you go, can you help me make an outfit?
Try to change my tone of voice, but
Did you say an outfit?
Yes, I wish to make a statement.
I might actually have just the thing.
So, just putting the banter aside for just 2 moments, who is going to the crypts and when? And who is attending the ball? And is there anything else anyone wants to do?
I'm attending a ball, and I would like to do something with Golden Heron involving making a rather peculiar outfit that he will help inscribe some messages on.
Okay.
I see.
So I have the intro charm to Dream Pearl Courtesan, which lets me fortify my clothing to make it hard as armor. I basically want to take sheets of parchment to the same length and dimensions as my robes and basically wear sort of like giant butcher sheet style robes that I will fortify so they don't just fall apart as I walk around in them. And I would like the overrobe to contain the story that Heron mentioned earlier that led her to believe that this place was being subsumed into a Shadowland, and how, you know, have that be on there and sort of have it be part of a message that, you know, the things that happen in the story lead to this sort of outcome. And then my underrobe, I want it to contain the picture of the portrait that we just picked off the wall with the burnt out name in the most prominent place to sort of underlie saying, oh, and by the way, these are these goddamn experiences discussed on my left sleeve. And I want to see how people react to that ball. At the very least, I want to make it very subtle that this place is falling into a Shadowland, and this is why. Because if we don't want anyone to buy this, I'm going to do it by tanking anyone's intention to want this land. It'd be like, oh, here's this car. By the way, the engine's shot and it gives you cancer. Enjoy.
That's great.
Hand?
I've been trying to figure out how best to respond to this. Sagacious Hand doesn't know what Sarah's talking about regarding an ability to protect. No idea what you're talking about with Eclipse powers. No clue. So it's, although lovely of, you know, like, we could use your help.
That's fair.
I don't know, like, I don't know how. I don't understand what you're... Also, from a technical point of view, splitting the party session-wise and, like, viewership...
we can handle that. I have a
difficult,
backup plan.
So...
Don't worry about splitting the party.
In which case, I'm going to abstain from the vote and decide later to whichever direction I go, because apparently we've already got two people going to one. Thrashasta has said that he wishes to go to the ball. Sarah does not. I'm going to refrain and think about it.
Okay.
Sorry, my experience with Exalted just tells me that splitting the party is usually not a big deal, just because of how screen time usually works in Exalted, but that's okay. I understand.
Don't worry about it. I've got it covered. DeNovo, are you going to the crypts or the ball, or somewhere else?
I'm gonna go. I don't really. I'm not sure I'm gonna commit to either path. Like, I'll see what everyone else wants to do and put my weight in there.
Tarala?
Does anybody wish to seal this painting away so the smoke clouds can't escape?
Sure.
Do you have any sealing wax? Where you look?
No. No. Yes, just not literally.
Hand would have the supplies you need back in the Excelsior.
Would that work? It works for our shamans when they are trying the herbs and the clouds that give them vision, that it doesn't escape the sacred hut. Maybe a similar thing will work here.
Something similar, yes. Yes, something can be done.
Do we have permission to do so, or do we not care?
It depends. Hand, can you smuggle this portrait out of the building?
It's too large.
I could throw it out the window. He said it was indestructible, right?
I better stress test that, actually.
And it's got a pretty good throwing arm.
And if we destroy it, wouldn't that be a good thing? Because then it won't cry. I feel this is a win-win situation.
Hang on.
I think... Yeah, disguise it as something else and throw it out the window.
Hand. Please, give me my dieclave.
Sword. God damn it!
Thank you. Kalis, could you please hand me that painting?
It is quite heavy, apparently. Because
Taken out of the frame, it's less heavy.
Yeah. Okay. So, if Terrell's given the painting, she now wraps her diclave with the painting as a sort of makeshift wrap scabbard.
All right, cool. And then?
And then, you know, ties it off so that the diclave is now held in. And, alright. Now, we can smuggle it out. Because I've got my things for getting ready for the gala night. My things are still inside, the caravan. I have to go get ready. They're not gonna mind me walking out with my diclave.
Is it me, or are we terrible guests?
I'm starting to suspect it might not be you.
I don't really
You're on a
care if I
mission,
guess
not
or
on pleasure. We're soldiers, not guests.
Also, that mural is rather fetching. I would even say improve them a little.
And to think, Sagacious Hand, you were worried about what I might do at this, prestigious place, huh?
I was only worried that you'd eat everything before I got a chance to get a plate. Only my concern.
Yes, sadly I was waylaid from, paying a visit to the kitchens, huh? And he, slightly jabs you in the ribs and laughs.
Okay, so Sarah/Heron is going to the catacombs. Alpha Shasta is definitely going to the gala. Tarala is definitely going to the gala. Kalis, where are you going? Gala or catacombs?
Gala. Sarah?
You're going to the gala?
Wait a minute.
Sagacious Hand is going with Sarah.
I guess I'll go with them to the tombs then. At least I can't defend living people there.
Okay, so we have Heron, Hand, and Denovo going to the catacombs. And we have Alpha Shasta,
Yes.
Tarala, and Kalis all going to the gala tonight. The debutante ball.
Yay!
Yes, Denovo?
Actually, I think I just thought of a way we don't have to bother with splitting up. Actually,
Uh-huh.
it's a new scene, right?
This right now is a new scene, yes?
Then I'm going to introduce a fact.
Okay.
I'm wanting to introduce the fact that ghosts like to, for lack of a better word, imitate the living, and specifically that ghosts, especially in Shadowlands, like to attend the festivities of the living. To the point where any ghosts which are present from the royal family will be at the ball.
Okay, I won't veto this one, but it will be a high difficulty of 6.
No problem. We're alone, so I can spend my entire excellency on this.
You realize it takes a while for you to. Okay, whatever. Keep doing it.
All right. Hold on. I'm actually going to activate a new evocation. Okay, so once per scene, the roll. Okay, here we go. Okay, perfect. First time awakens, rolled ability of that. Yeah, okay, that's perfect. Hold on.
Holding.
So intelligence plus lore plus specialty, so 16. Wait, that's 9 times 2, 18.
Be right back.
Okay.
I got 11 successes. Wait, 12 successes. Yeah, 12 successes.
Okay. It's an established fact that when parties are on, sometimes ghosts of the departed will gather. If they are able to, of course. If their festivities
all right.
held in the middle of the day, then they won't be attending.
But at night they will.
Generally speaking, yeah.
All right, then there's no need to. Then I was actually going to point that out to everyone and say, there's no need to split up. Actually, now that I think about it, the ghosts, if there are ghosts present, they will be at that dance. Just some of us will have more to do with them, and some will have more to do with the living. Both objectives are still fulfilled. We'll just be in the same place.
What happens if they've moved on?
If they moved on, then they would be of no help either way. They would be present, but they'd be present somewhere else in creation in this form of a small babe. I don't see how a baby would be terribly helpful in this situation. I mean, I've never seen a baby exorcist, but I won't draw out the impossible. And there was that one time, but that's not here or there.
So does this change everybody's plans?
I suppose so. Very well, I'll attend the dance. Should be fun. I've never seen a ball.
Doesn't change mine.
So we're all now going to the gala?
Yeah.
Okay. After this has been established, and you have moved on from this room, as you come out into the hallway leading to the exit and also the other rooms of the castle, the under butler is there again. Mason seems to not be around at the moment, and he basically says that the rooms are ready, and that if you're ready to be taken up, he can take you to them. Some of the other lords and ladies will be arriving sort of smack bang on time. Essentially he says, basically, be here in this room at this particular time. Other than that, you can either retreat to your rooms here and, freshen yourselves up or whatever, or if you need to gather stuff from your, wagons, caravans, or whatever, you can do that down there. Righteous Lotus has been here with Johan. He just follows her around, and she's just sort of just looking at things and thanks the under butler for his service, and says that she'll be heading up into the rooms here because she's got everything she needs. But if you guys, obviously, either you want to join her for a bit of a debrief, or if you want to go and get other things, you can do that as well.
Roughly how much time do we have before
You have about 2 hours before the gala begins.
So enough time to recover some stuff.
I'm gonna go ahead and stay in the painting room. I'm going to ask you guys to tell them that I'm meditating on the situation in the room, and I'll just stay barricaded in there until the anima wears off.
Oh, that's right. You used your anima. How much did you use in total?
All right. And my total anima expenditure was... Hold on, let me pull up that dice rolling thing.
We did full excellency, so that was
yeah.
9. At least.
Yep.
Plus anything else?
No, that was it. You said there was no need for anything else, so I didn't activate the vacation.
Okay, cool. You just blingy. That'll go in like 15 minutes or so. Don't need to hold up there very long.
After that, I'm going to, I don't know. Are there any like nice materials in the place?
Sorry, nice what?
Are there any nice fabrics in the place? Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to the caravan and like work out, and just work out some. I just make myself a better robe or something for the occasion.
Okay, cool. Does anyone else have anything preparations to do prior to the gala?
We are
Just asking how much time will pass for the purposes of essence.
2 hours.
Ooh, excellent.
I'm gonna take a nice long bath and get myself all freshened up.
Look.
I'm sorry, Plucker, we missed that. It broke up a bit.
Should we tell the ambassador what we have learned? Did you hear that, okay?
I did. Did everyone else?
Yep. All right, we'll go debrief her.
I thought we were in the same room as.
Is there
No,
some confusion about what's going on? Like, you're currently in the hallway. You're currently in the hallway with Righteous Lotus. She has said that she's going to go to the rooms, so the underbutler's going to show her the way. You can either go with her to prepare for the gala, or you can go and do other preparations on your own. That is up to you.
Has she already left?
She is in the process of leaving.
I will say that. Yeah.
So as Righteous Lotus is leaving, Kalis mentions to all of you, asks all of you, should we let her know what's going on?
I say yes.
We're here to support her.
All right. We'll relay to her everything, including the fact that we'll be talking to the ghost that might be at the ball tonight.
I mean, we've done a bang up job of keeping secrets so far.
Hey, we've convinced them that that Alpha Shasta isn't a solar.
While you're ahead.
He can now freely use essence.
Quit while you're ahead.
So does anyone want to do anything prior to the gala, or shall we skip ahead to it?
Other than just getting a new outfit for it and pulled out, and then meditation to respire. Nothing comes to mind. Gonna make a note of the fact that probably gonna do a show, so the prop is necessary. After we stash the painting elsewhere.
So
Yeah,
here's an
where's
important
painting?
question. Where is it getting stashed?
That is a very important question. So, should we stash it with the caravan, or in one of the other rooms?
I say we seal it in the caravan, actually.
No.
Why not?
This thing managed to affect an entire castle and a village. It has a very large area of effect. It is not going anywhere inside the Ebullient Excelsior. It's currently acting as a sheath. I could attempt to put it somewhere. I don't know where that place is, but if wrapped around a sword, it could. But then, am I suddenly a contagious cloud come nightfall?
Maybe we could give it to Gamma Kamasenin?
What? Was it just me, or did I hear somebody talking about some old mine shafts by disused well?
That'll just make it a toxic well. We need to seal it, not just toss it down a hole.
I mean, this might be spiteful, but do we know where that jerk is that we saw when we first got into town?
We will probably be meeting him tonight.
Can we feed it to... No, that's a bad idea. Okay, let's just dig a hole in the ground and seal it.
Oh, let me guess. Kalos would be digging that hole, yes?
De novo, you're literally a sorcerer. Can you do a
Yes.
binding spell?
Yes, I
Do a ritual to bind it.
theoretically. Yeah, actually, yes, that's more or less what I was suggesting we do. That was the entire
Then-
intention behind taking the painting. That's why I suggested we seal it in the caravan, not that we walk around with it active.
Then why not seal it in this room so it doesn't have to go anywhere?
Because we might need to
Keep up
come
a
back to
full
this
board.
room. Because we might come back to this room, and I am very wary of build-up, for lack of a better word. But very well, we'll seal it in this room. Do you still have the blood? Yeah,
I gave it to you. I'm like, I took it under objection, and then like, here you go. I don't want this.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do then. What kind of bullshit can I do? Okay. Here's what we'll do. We need an even stronger reagent. Fortunately, we have plenty of that reagent. Okay, so I'm going to do an occult. Would you say sealing this painting is an occult roll now?
No.
Say it's
Working will take me a few weeks, so I don't think that's doable right now.
I know. Unless you have some sort of thaumaturgical ritual which allows you to seal things magically. There's no sort of
Damn mortal powers that
general
occasionally
thing.
come in handy.
I will give you this one for free. You know that salt often acts as a barrier to ghosts and the undead. Often. Not always, but often.
All right. Is there any salt on the trays that that Caleb has been dragging along with us?
For the sake of expediency, can I just say that you are able to go down to the kitchens and get somewhat like a barrel of salt, if you so desire.
All right. So I'm going to draw a warding pentagram in. Are there any like cupboards or things like that in this room?
Sure, yes. There is absolutely something
Alright.
there.
All right. I'm gonna put the painting in the cupboard. Then I'm going to mix the salt with the blood
Right?
and draw immaculate binding circles throughout the entire interior of the cupboard.
Yeah?
Then I'm going to be chanting a litany from the teachings of Hesiah, specifically regarding his act of incinerating the bodies of the devil kings to prevent their resurrection, invoking in the context of binding malicious undead intent. And then I'm going to close the cupboard, and I'm gonna snap the gold from the wallpaper peeler,
Yeah?
and convert that into a binding glyph, which I'm going to basically meld onto the back of the dresser.
Okay, cool. I'll give you a simple project for that one. So just take 6 silver points right now. And I'm not going to get you to roll, but I am going to give you your roll bonus for being all occulty and stuff.
Alrighty, perfect.
Is there anything else prior to the gala?
Oh, Dux will make my outfit for me.
Yep. People are muted, I can't hear you.
We fill in the ambassador yet?
Not yet.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'm going to be using Whirling Brush Technique and Flowing Elegant Hand combined to persuade others and quickly write up all on Culture's Clothing that with my story and my knowledge, persuade people that the land, particular kingdom, is currently falling into a Shadowland and is in danger. Whirling Brush Technique, just for the viewers, I believe it's already come up, but it's my standard, probably one of my most common charms, I imagine, where I just basically write up something much faster than I would be able to otherwise, as well as Flowing Elegant Hand, which effectively gives me double 9 a dice roll. I didn't use any excellency dice, but with my dice roll, I believe I got 9 successes.
9 successes. Is that a persuade or an instill?
It would be a persuade, not an instill.
Okay, cool. Can you just make note of your successes on that persuade, please?
Yes.
9. Hand.
I'm sorry, I need to have a break. Which is unfortunate. How much longer do we have?
About 15 minutes, if you can stick with us.
Okay. No, I'm fine.
Okay, Tarala, anything for you?
Like I said, just getting ready for the gala and then meditation to respire.
Okay, cool. I believe Hand has given you a dress, or given you a box at least, anyway.
Yes. But she didn't carry it into the she has the box, but has to go fetch it just from the
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So we might leave the description of that until later, because it was something that that Vero had prepared. Kalis, is there anything... Since everyone seems to be scampering off in different directions, did you want to follow Lotus and let her know what's going on?
Yes, let's do that.
All right, well, she's heading up to the rooms. She's heading up to the rooms. So if you want to follow her, you'll need to follow her.
I will follow.
She indicates that she's not that she's not interested in conversation, but that it would be best if you didn't converse with her about things whilst they're walking through the hallways, and to wait until you get into the room. While ordinarily men and women would be bedded, would be put in different rooms, and in fact you have been assigned a different room to Righteous Lotus. In this particular case, she has convinced the under-butler that it's okay because she's just going to have a nice, normal, cordial conversation. And he sort of just, nods and bows, and he takes off. She sort of closes the door behind her, and she's been given this fairly large suite. This castle is full of them. So there's tons of room for everybody who's going to be coming and visiting. But as soon as the door is closed, she sort of turns around and sort of leans her back up against it and sort of just watches you.
Kalis will take his flute out. He will change configuration so there's only one hole exposed to it, and at the other end there'll be another one popping up, and take the jug of water, and he places it at the top and lets it flow down the pipe and spill out into a bowl to collect it, creating a sound of a waterfall. When village elders talk, the younger, enthusiastically curious Kalis for listening in on their meetings, they make similar sounds here. He waits for...
Can you give me that speech again?
So what Kalis has done is he's set up basically using really ultimately tube. He set up one hole as an input for water, which is pouring, and he's created basically create like a waterfall to mask the sound of their conversation. And the story was that when Kalis was younger, he was very curious and enthusiastic and like over friendly. So he'd often like try and listen in to the grown-ups like meetings, like the village elders when they'd gather for their talk of like the conversation with the elders. They realized that Kalis would listen by, and kind of even as a child he was very large, so it was quite hard to like move away. So they found that they made the sound of a waterfall, I wouldn't be able to listen in, and I'm just using that sound to mask our conversation. Okay.
Cool. She watches you work and looks visibly impressed. Probably a bit too impressed. I didn't think much of you when we first met.
Is there a compliment there? Or
What I'm saying is it's become obvious that your talents run deep.
People are too quick to judge. And never really take the time to get to know each other, at least in the tribes, huh?
Yeah. Yes. Precisely.
You like to know our conversation?
You have something to tell me.
Some excitement over a decoration on a wall masked that papery stuff with pretty decoration. They said it was a tree of family, had a name scratched out. Others found it very interesting. I have to take their word. I do not see the same thing in those paper that they do.
It's something.
To me, it is.
It's something that happens occasionally in lineages like this. If someone has acted out of turn so poorly that they've had to be scrubbed from history, then they tend to be scrubbed from history.
Would you have any idea whom might have disgraced the tribe so much so that they would bear names not be uttered?
There's really no way of knowing without doing more investigation. There's something we can do tonight at the gala.
Well, happy to help, but I have never conducted one of the investigations.
I can show you how. But first we must do something about this awful outfit you're wearing. Not fit for a event tonight.
Kalis will like flex and like show how the costume accentuates like well-toned physique. In the past, I've had no complaints, many compliments. What would you suggest?
Are you wanting to just lay it all out there for anyone to gaze upon?
Well, when in a different tribe, that tribe does. I am happy with whatever you say, and he looks for a moment at her. Trust guidance.
Where we are now in this tribe, in fact most of the tribes of the rivers, you may find that often what is hidden speaks louder than what is shown.
Like me and my talents, huh?
Yes, just like them. Leave a little bit to the imagination, so that they can conjure all sorts of thoughts and feelings all on their own.
talking about comfort, there is know that this castle village close by under some sort of curse or enchant that puts the people under its spell to a deep slumber every night.
Oh. Every night. Slumber. That won't do.
I believe the claim portrait the chieftain and heir was source of the theory haunted fog cloud.
I trust Denova has taken care of it.
It seemed that he did his duty in that regard. He sold and weird symbols and a chant sort. Hope it will be effective. We will soon see, huh?
Hopefully. Until then, I have about an hour and a half to get you ready.
Surprised what I can do in a small space of time.
You don't want to savor the moment.
Sometimes intense longevity.
I'm sorry, Plucker, you are actually cutting in and out. I wasn't sure if you were just being laconic.
Sorry, what bit did you get?
That last little bit I didn't catch.
Oh, I said sometimes intense for longevity. Turning the band. And I think that would be a good moment to like leave that scene to that whatever happened in that. Did you hear that?
I did. So, Lotus and Kalis have some alone time. He has been working up to this for a while. Down in the servants' quarters, a mason is sitting, and at this great table, the servants are having their afternoon meal, such that they can sort of work through the night as needed, without having to sort of stop for refreshments or food or anything like that. And he's just flicking through this great book. And the other staff haven't ever seen him so shaken before. He's not telling anyone what's going on or what's happened, just that something has happened that has bothered him, and they know better than to sort of try and pry it out of him. But in an attempt to calm him somewhat, Thomas, the underbutler, sits down next to him and starts trying to get him to talk about tonight's festivities. And it seems to work. Once Mason has something to concentrate on, he's able to sort of shake through whatever it is that's causing this anxiety in him. And so together they go through the list of attendees. Obviously there's the royal family, King Alexander Marcus, and the Crown Prince, Jonathan Marcus. Then there are the Arls of the kingdom, Lord Nathaniel Dalton, Lord Andre Wyatt, Lady Ayana Rothwell and Lord Ephraim Rothwell, as well as their children Malachi, Nikolai, Alexei, Julian, and Adrian. There's James Carson and Tiberius Alba. And that would be the lords and ladies coming. And they have prepared for that. But they weren't sure which of the delegations were going to arrive. And from the messages that they've received, they know that a few will be turning up. Gowron from Strom and his retinue have already arrived and have been in the kingdom for a few days. Misley Weathered Page from Shoof will be in attendance. Soren Medish from Garrus will be in attendance. Hedon, or Lord Hedon, from a kingdom named Hadal, will be in attendance. The Lady Lorelei from the kingdom of Krivia. Righteous Lotus and her retinue from the Ebullient Excelsior from Lambert Heights. And the last invitation that they were still questioning over before a messenger comes in at this very moment to let them know they've received their final RSVP. Jonas Auric will be in attendance this evening. His plans have stepped up, and he will be able to attend, and looks forward to the festivities and session.
Who's Jonas?
Ow, ow, ow,
Oh,
ow.
distortion.
Jonas Auric is the uncle of Tarala Auric, currently going under the stage name Jade Phoenix Soul.
When people remember to use her stage name.
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
That might make for an interesting celebration.
Or possibly
The
stabbing.
best use of disguise ever.
Oh, looks like we'll be going to the tombs after all to hide the body.
Now, as I recall, Kalis has gotten a roll bonus. De Novo, you got the roll bonus. Hand, you got the expression bonus. Have I given out anything else? I don't think I have.
6 craft XP, and we never worked out the wall remover.
That we can do
XP.
after the session's over.
Oh no, you were asking. That's all.
Right. Heron, I'll give you your roll bonus because you've been active in trying to uncover what's going on in the kingdom as part of your role. So that's 2 solar experience to you. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Now, as far as objectives have gone, you have uncovered a likely source of the issues or plagues that are bothering the kingdom, and you have unmasked Jonathan's true self. So that is 2 regular experience to everyone. And that is all.
All right.
Hey, making my first purchase already.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. It was a interesting session. I'm sorry about all the technical difficulties we've had going through. This is sorts of things that we can iron out. We're going to work with Plucky to make sure that his computer is okay. Poor thing. Any other questions or comments from the group prior to signing off? Baby. Baby.
Oh, so cute.
Okay, well, since we haven't got anything else to say or do, we will say farewell. This is Elkavash signing off. Thank you very much for watching. This will be up on YouTube within the hour. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all later.
Thanks for watching.
Bye,
Thanks for watching.
Hey guys.